is the view of the community, and our aim is to have a wholesome representation from every aspect of the community, not just a centralized focus on one section and the views of just one section. We want to have a wholesome representation that everyone can have a seat at the table because it represents the community itself, right? So irrespective of religious beliefs or anything like that, everyone should be at the table and their voices be heard. But with a functioning CDC, the community is better positioned to advocate for itself. Sorry, one moment. My mom is in the hospital, so I have to
Put down speaker.
So just to fill in why we should take the call, I'm going to the hospital today. As you are all aware, for some time or years, there was a unanimous decision made to include Hermitage as a district under August. So, some lobbying was done, led by Mr. Mason, and so the community regained back community status at the end of 2024. As a result of that, it means that you have to form your own local governance structure, as Ms. Arnold was saying. Every community has a local governance structure, what we call a CDC. CDC meaning a community development committee. How is that community CDC composed? Ms. Arnold is going to go into a presentation, but just enough this to open your mind. We take in all sector streams of our community. So we look at our key stakeholders, or primary stakeholders, or secondary stakeholders. Who are our key stakeholders? We are talking about CBOs. CBO meaning community-based organization. All your youth club, all your senior citizen club, any sports group, those are considered community-based organization. Right? When it goes to the primary stakeholders, we are talking about all the churches in the community, all the schools. You understand? We're talking about businesses, NGOs like restorative justice, that only serve us on the long Hermitage. We're looking, when we talk about our secondary stakeholders, we're talking about our ex-officials, such as our MP, our councillors, Social Development Commission, restorative justice. So those are the secondary stakeholders. Now, you the residents play a vital part, right? So for Hermitage, we have some groups, however, they are not structured, meaning from time to time, we have a project, the group come, they accomplish the project, they achieve it. But structure meaning, do they have a constitution? Do they have an executive body in place? So take for example, Shelley is a woman group, but there is no structure in place, so we can't recognize that as a CBO. Until it is properly structured, where you have executive, a president, vice president, a treasurer, a secretary, a constitution as to when the group meet, which day, place, and time, then we can carry on the database. Right? So all of that, our organization SDC does. So when we formalize the CDC now, we are looking out of it, Maurice. We're looking for a youth club. We have a senior citizen club here at the church. We have sports group, Nico, we have entertainment, we need proper structure, so we have our established group. So today, what we have to do, because we have most of the CDO in place, we have to have representative from the roads and streets. So hence why we ask for representative from each of the roads. So far we have 15. Payton Place, Princess Alice Drive, Princess Alice Way, Escarpment, Newman Road, Anvil, Warrenda, Bailey, Anse Crescent, Abbott Road, Manley Avenue, Sivera, Terrace Sivera, Drive, Rachel Close, and we just call around the back there the Gully Bank. We're not going to call it, but it doesn't have anyone, so it's just there. Gully Bank. That's what Hermitage Bank. So, but to take up what you guys time.
Thank you so much, H.R., for tuning in. or one leader. Sustainable development happens when residents themselves become actively involved in shaping the direction of their community. And while I mentioned that I met some very interesting persons, people who would have talked about past initiative, paving road and all of that. So it's not a new concept to Hermitage or the citizens here. It's just to have everyone in a more organized and structured way. So Ms. Scotland would have mentioned the Constitution, right? Which is essentially the document that gives the CDC structure and direction. And it helps to ensure fairness, transparency, accountability, and proper organization within the group, right? So, just to give you a definition, a constitution is the official governing document that guides how a community development committee operates. Think of it as the rule book or foundation document of the CDC. It outlines what it stands for, how it functions, how can one become member, who can become a member, how leaders are elected, how decisions are made, the standards of accountability and conduct expected. So that's just to give you a brief synopsis of the reason why we are here. So just a little background on the Social Development Commission for those persons who are relatively new to the organization. You might have heard about us, seen us, and wonder what is it that we do. So the Social Development Commission is the principal community development agency working with Jamaica's 775 community. The core function facilitates the creation of environment for citizens to participate in planning and decision making, resulting in an improvement in their communities and quality of life. So the SDC governance goal is to improve the local governance by building, strengthening civil society organization, including CBOs, as Ms. Scotland would have named some that are here in Hermitage, but not so structured, the youth group, the parenting group, to engage in dialogue, decisions, and actions that promote, I think that should be good governance. So the local government reform policy, provision number 4, states that all the management mechanisms must create space for participation and representation of civil society on all local level structure. So the vision of the local governance framework is the creation and establishment of a new governance for the management of the modern Jamaican society, with the following features: transparency, accountability, participation, autonomy, development, and empowerment. So the participatory governance framework highlights the relationship between various levels of governance structure that creates opportunity for increased citizenry participation in development. So, at the very, Ms. Scotland would have also spoke about it, but this is a visual picture of it, the structure of the participatory governance framework. And at the very top, we would have the Parish Development Committee, which would comprise of the municipal corporation, local health, education institution, MPs, councillor, programs, and projects. Right? And then we have the district area committee,
Development area.
Yes, the district area committee.
Development.
Development. Okay. The development area committee and the community development committee, which is us right here, the CDC, and the community-based organization.
So, just to explain what she has just shown you, this is how the development takes place in Jamaica. So, at the bottom, you have community-based organization. Those are the organizations I spoke about. The churches, the school, the university. From there, you have the CDC, which is the group you are trying to create. All those level 1 group, the CBOs, fall under the CDC. From the CDC, the Development Area Committee, for this development area, it is Happy Development Area Committee. So it's called PDAC. Once you are established, you have executive members from this CDC sitting at the Happy Development Area Committee. From the Happy Development Area Committee, we have 15 communities. Hermitage, Augustown, Mona, Ligani, Jacksonville, Constitution Hill, Dallas, Gordon, Papine, Content Gap, St. Peter's, Mavis Bank, what am I missing? Woodford, I said Jackson, Woodford. No, Kinta is a district of Papine. That is the district of Papine. Papine has 16 districts. Can't remember the next two from my head, you know. So 15 communities at the Happy Development Area. So at the development area, all development areas come together and form parish development committee. So you have representatives from PDAC, Happy Development Area, meeting with Litany Development Area, meeting with Dwayne Park, Halfway Development Area, 3 Miles Development Area. So in all, Kingston and St. Andrew is 85 communities. So that is how. And those decisions goes up to the national level. So what Ms. Ann was saying to you, the importance is, if you don't have a CDC, you don't have a voice. Because how it runs, you have to have a local governance structure representing your community. Once you have a structure group, Mr. Mason can tell you, funding agencies don't look at you. Because first of all, they want to know who's your local governance structure. Can I honestly have an executive? How long have you been established and all of those things? Person wants to know that when they are investing, whether it be internal and external stakeholder, whether it be overseas funder or local funding agents in Jamaica, they are working with a structured organization. Right? Moving along. So, partnership for good governance. The role of the local authority, that is parish council, they provide regulatory enforcement, service provision, other development of areas under their control, and the local authority facility. My mind thinking of what you can have in the hospital, sorry. So the role of the civil society organization, as she was telling you, advocacy. I won't talk about advocacy. I want to break it down so persons can understand. It means this is where the lobbying is done for your community. Right? May it be road, light, water, whatever. That is what you advocate for. Right? Representation, as I told you about, meaning you representing. Networking and partnership are working down. Right? What you find most of the time, similar communities have similar issues. So a Hermitage estate might have a similar issue. A similar issue as other community. Right? It might be out of our hands at the community level. So when it goes up to the parish level, the network, so communities with the similar issues, they solve it at that level. Excuse her, she was called to the hospital, right? Resource mobilization, same. planning and implementation and community outreach. So the outcome of the PGF, that is a participatory governance framework, we empower, meaning wherever the community and the residents are representation lack capacity, we try and empower them. If we can't do it internally, we source outside capacity building expertise. Right? And as I told you, we build partnership with various stakeholders, whether it be internal stakeholder, external stakeholder, consensus building and planning, contributing to Jamaica's national vision, as I tell you, contributing to Jamaica's national growth. So what I'm saying to you, what we're doing, don't stop here. It goes up to the development area, up to the parish area, up to the national level. That's how important it is. So, these are just some key definitions. For us, we don't have any district. Right? Other communities have districts like Augustown. We were once considered district, now we are out. We have Augustown proper, Goldsmith Villa, Bedward Gardens, African Gardens. Those are 4 districts of Augustown. And as our council was saying to you, Kintyre and Tavern are also districts of Papi. Ellison Flats, also a district of Papi. So, a district is just a subset of a community characterized by some of the same features of the community. For example, health center, they share the same health center. The schools, persons attend the same schools. So persons from Bedward Gardens, Goldsmith Villa, they attend the same school. Churches, police station, community center, just the same. And share the basic service and institution of the community, thus seeing themselves as a part of the community in this context. All subsets of a community such as villas, housing schemes, settlement, hamlets are referred to as districts within these clusters. A community now, a community is defined by a geographical area. So for us, our geographical area is, we start at the wall at where College Common and Payne Place meet. We go all the way down to Rachel Close. We take into consideration Sylvia Drive and Terrace, Manley Avenue. We go all the way to the end of Manley Avenue and come around. So you see the gully behind Hermitage. We are separated by a gully. The gully that comes from Mona Reservoir goes straight down to African Garden. That is what separates us from Goldsmith Villa. So everything, if you come from Manley Avenue, everything to the right of the gully coming up is Hermitage. Right? And it comes right up back, Princess Alice Way Drive, right back up the Payne Place. So we're going to get a visual vision of the boundary and borders of the community. Yes, man. Yeah, man. Manley Avenue just with the borders. Yeah. Right. Go ahead, Mr. Councilor.
Bear in mind that Manley Avenue ends.
Yes.
At where the donors and the babies live. That's where Manley Avenue ends.
I don't know the name.
All right. So it is.
Give a landmark. The stone wall going around.
No, not the stone wall. That's the Manley Avenue. That Goldsmith Villa. Alright, so it cut across from where you know where Rooster lives? Next door Rooster, and come across. That is where.
That's the last house on Mount Avenue, right? Before you reach the Goldsmith Villa intersection.
Right,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And it don't go down to the stone wall. Goldsmith Villa start, Manley Avenue run into Goldsmith Villa.
Manley Avenue running to Goldsmith Villa.
Yeah.
Yes, that is where the bridge is, where the sign says welcome to Goldsmith Villa.
No.
Give me a different landmark.
You come back. You come back up on the road past Mr. You come back to where Mr. Downey used to live across the road. All right, that is where the last house and Manley Avenue is right there. And you have one Goldsmith Villa start there.
I think you're saying the same thing, Ms. Scott.
The gully is separated. Most communities are separated either by a river, bridge, a gully.
So you can't do it from this is the Google map.
Yeah, no, this is our map. This is my map. There. Not a card.
Alright, so we need to card.
This was done by our research department. I'm going to find a line map. So let me read it. Oh, well, you could have had it here, but I don't know where she keep herself. So, then, hold on a second, that's our store. Let me go to Hermitage. Yeah.
So Hermitage.
Yes.
So that means that going from Pecos or down somewhere in Hermitage.
Right, you come over the hill, you take the first corner and the second corner, and 3 houses down that is laying around it.
So that's what in a man there.
You know,
3 houses down there?
right, you know which I used to live?
No, I don't know the name. 3 houses from Pecos going
Past
up.
Pecos. We didn't start Pecos.
Take the
And
corner,
they have a little corner.
and then take the second
And
corner.
they take the next corner again.
Right.
Mhm.
So you have 1, 2, 3 houses.
So all of
That's
this
the end of
are
them, and this,
Hermitage.
and
All of this are Hermitage.
Anyway, we can pick up that.
yeah, man, you can always pick up that.
But based on what he's saying, he said 3 houses after Pecos.
No.
No, you not get over there.
Both the hill,
You
right?
take the corner and take the second corner.
Yes.
Right, then 3 houses down from there.
And
That's the
then
end of
turn
my
right.
life.
But that's what I'm saying, that's the same thing I'm saying.
Yeah, one there.
No, you were referring to the stone wall. So where the stone wall is goes into the
School one of-
Which one is going on? The right one that you're turning?
Yes,
Yes.
that's Boston. Boston will start from up and down.
No, nothing down here. Remember I said the inside behind Hermitage, you know.
Yes, but you know what it actually shared because the last, when you come down, if you go on the gully bank and walk down,
Yeah.
it's when you reach where the community center is,
Yes.
that is where it cut across. Straight across. It doesn't matter, you may imagine your line from.
Yeah, but I don't know anybody I don't know if there's where I'm going to bank down that side.
The nearest house.
Yes.
Is Butcher.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Nobody live down that side of the gully bank. That's why I said everything over the right of the gully. Coming up with Hermitage.
But what I wanted to encourage you, remember there's a plot of houses and Boston before you go around here. If you were to follow your map and go around.
Yeah. No man, the gully.
Alright.
Right. So we spoke about development areas which take into consideration the communities I spoke here about, right? I explained to you what is community-based organization, what is a CDC, what is development area committee, and what is parish development committee. So, I'll explain to you what is a CDC, but let me read it out. CDC, a community development committee. So anytime you hear me say CDC, the short is a community development committee. Represent the interest of citizens and is the voice of the community. CDCs provide the foundation for supporting citizens' participation in higher level governance structures such as development area committee, parish development committee, and other regional national structure. The following agencies or individuals can be invited to address specific issues. All key state agency representatives operating in the area. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, the Education Ministry, the Health Ministry, SDC, etc. Key special interest groups such as Kiwanis, and you know most of the clubs, Rotary, those are special interest groups. We have a minister fraternal here. I don't know of any of the other clubs being present in Hermitage, the Member of Parliament for the area, and the Councillor for the area. The goal is to align with the focus and the interests of the CBO. So as I was explaining to you, each CBO has their own goal and interest. A church, their goal is to win soul for Christ. A parenting group is a different goal. Their goal is to capacitate expected parents and those who are already parents in carrying out their parental duty in a reasonable manner. A sports group has a different goal. A youth club may have a different goal. So the CBO, the type of CBO determines the goal for that group. The CDC, we plan to implement or monitor and assess broad development issues to a specific community. Alright, so I think we went through this at the first part where we had the graph, the function of the CSO. So let me go over it again. The function of a CSO, which CSO means a civil society organization. So we have administrative function, information management. What does that mean? Administrative function means this group that is established has to operate as any structured group. Meaning there has to be like a secretariat unit, there have to be a minute, your corresponding file, your incoming letters, outgoing, your expenses file, your membership file, everybody that who says they are a member of your group, you're supposed to can show they are a member, they join membership at what date. Right? Resource mobilization. So resource mobilization is a broad topic. Resource not only mean financial, it may be tangible resource. Right? Where do you mobilize a resource from? Grants, political directorate, stakeholders, etc. We spoke about advocacy and representation, planning and implementation, community outreach and support. We have that here from time to time. We do a lot of community outreach. From time to time there are issues in the community and the group try and meet those by various outreach. Whether that be a fundraising, a letter here or there. Network and coordination, and the last one, local economic development. Local economic development speaks to the local entrepreneurs that are in your community. So some community has persons who make pillar, persons who bake with that kudu, cake and sell. Some people use them on make fashion, embroidery, crochet. So we try and recognize those local entrepreneurs and see how we can assist them in establishing their business to get them regularized. Understand? Partner network, we have fairs, market fairs, so we give them exposures where others can see those businesses and tap into them. Right? And on the bottom, refer to the reform system of governance in Jamaica. That is a little book that we have at SDC. Stated purpose and objective of the organization. All organizations must have vision and mission statement as stated objective. Meaning, you have an organization, there have to be a vision. What is the vision for the organization? Where do you expect to see that organization in the next 10, 15 years? Or are you going to accomplish that vision? You must have a mission. That the mission is the roadmap as to how you're going to accomplish the vision for your community. Right? So, all of this has to be in your constitution. Right? The Community Development Committee, as I said to you, the composition, take into consideration all the CBO. Your sports and youth and culture group, the faith-based organization is what we call the churches. Some don't consider themselves churches, especially if they are Muslim or a Jehovah's Witness, so they don't consider themselves church. So we give it the name faith-based, right? Your PTAs, that is your schools, businesses in the community, returning residents association, service clubs, the citizen association or neighborhood watch, and other community-based organization. Right? At the top there it says community members with special skill, knowledge and expertise like Mr. Mason's. Mr. Mason can write a lot of projects for the community, so he has special skills. Right, Mr. Mason? Alright, the development area committee now, the composition I told you. Key government agency operated within the development area. So for example, at the Papine development area, you have a UTEC and the university, right? RADA. Who again I say that here? Can't remember now. Non-governmental organization, like the Minister of Ontario spoke about the Kiwanis and the Rotary Club and those clubs. We're going to have to find them right now and have them being active in our community. Elective representative, meaning our MPs and our councillor. They are ex officio. For persons who don't understand what the ex officio mean, they don't have a voting right. They are stakeholders, but they don't have a voting right. My organization is also an ex officio. I don't have a voting right. Right? But they are key persons within your community. Your CDC, private sector, residents within the DA commission applying as per constitution. So that is what makes up the development area committee. So as soon as you're established, you'll have representatives sitting at the Papine Development Area Committee. And at the Parish Development Committee, as I tell you, all the major players. Yes, Simone?
You said they don't have a voting right. What does that mean?
All right. When it comes to any election, any decision, when it comes to decision making within your CDC, your MP, your councillor, and myself, you don't have a vote at the table. The voting rights has to do with you, the members. You're a member, but they are a secondary stakeholder, ex officio. They can't vote on any decision. Right? Oops. All right. I don't know how she said her things, I'm just going to try to manipulate. So why we are here today now? So coming out of this meeting, we are expected to establish a CDC. Meaning, one, we have to draft a constitution. That is the first, to develop a constitution. So, at the end of this meeting, what we are asking is persons to willingly volunteer yourself to sit at the core group, which is the steering committee. So you will be the drafter of the constitution, right? We ask a representative for each ward, right? And the person with the expertise and knowledge also to help and draft the constitution. One, I must guard you. The constitution is entrenched. Entrenched meaning there are only some section of the constitution that can be changed or altered. We'll get into that because the constitution will be shared with you. Right? At the completion of the constitution, it is going to come back to the general group, the wider community, and to be shared with the wider community. Once it is agreed on, we are going to ratify that constitution. Meaning, everybody agree and person sign off on that. Once the constitution is completed, ratified, we are going to have IGM. Person know what is an AGM? An annual general meeting. So we're not having an annual general meeting, we're going to have an IGM. It's an inaugural general meeting. Where at that meeting now, you are going to vote on who you want for your president, the vice president, the secretary, your treasurer, assistant secretary, assistant general, PRO assistant, and if you want to go to sports coordinator, project coordinator, that is decision, right? You decide if you want a base composition or a comprehensive composition, meaning if it's basic, you just need a president, a secretary, a treasurer, a PR. But if it's comprehensive, you have your assistant secretary, assistant treasurer, your sports coordinator, your project coordinator, or special project coordinator, your entertainment, you determine. So the structure is determined, decided by you, right? Once that is in place, we do a leadership capture form, and all of those are submitted, right? Once those are sent in, we move into capacitating the group, meaning whatever area your executive need capacity building in, we come in. So if your secretary don't know to do minutes and letters and whatever, we provide that training. If your treasurer don't know how to do the books, the accounting book, we provide that training. If your chairman / president don't know how to chair a meeting, we provide that training. So everybody understand where we are heading? Fair enough. The process is really here now because once I here now, we want to ensure that you will form a group today and by 3 months, 6 months, the group break away. So it's here and that there is consistency and sustainability. After here, you are entitled to apply for your grants at SDC, administrative grant, and any other grant. Priority grant for a priority issue, any grant, right? Once you're approved. The administrative grant is to help you to carry out your administrative function. Right? You buy your little paper, your little ink, or whatever. If you don't have a printer, so we start off with a 30 what months? Every 6 months?
Every 6 months.
But for now, we have special administrative grant, 6 already, so it's 60,000. Right? So, no, I'm saying to you, if the group no structure, you can't benefit from nothing. That you just stop a house only. If you go to JSIF, they're going to ask you if you're a structured group. Anywhere you go to the funding agency, they're going to ask you, whether the last 3 minutes, can I have a list of the executive and other documents? Right? So, that is why we are here today. Right? And that's okay, because the presentation finished and we're just going to present. So, what we want now to do is to form a core group, right? So I'm asking persons, let me see, I still don't see Noble, so Mr. Handis is here from Payton Place. I don't see anybody from Princess Alice Drive our way. No?
They're online.
Oh, they're online? Right? So, to form the core group, anybody right? Maurice, look at check on the record. I'm asking persons to volunteer. Just indicate to Maurice can have an identification of those who are volunteer to form the core group, which is the steering committee. So by Monday morning, you'll get the constitution and you can log it within yourself. We're going to set a next meeting day where we come back and go through the constitution.
There is a draft constitution to go through.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
And they'll be given guidance as to the areas that can be changed within the constitution.
And they said, areas that can be changed.
The constitution is entrenched, but there are areas that can be changed. So one, you're going to speak to the name of your organization. You decide what you want the organization to be. Your meeting place, your time, your venue. Meaning, which day of the week, at what time. You decide. You have the option of meeting once every month, or once every 2 months, or once every 3 months, but not the other. Right? In this time of year, a lot of persons busy, so you don't find persons meeting 2 weeks every 2 weeks or what. So you will decide if it's the third Thursday of every month or the second Sunday or the last Saturday or whatever. 7 o'clock and you state a meeting place. right? You have the option of deciding your dues, how much you pay, is it 200 a month, 500 a month, right? The option of determining how much is your financial liability. I think the maximum is 200,000, right? So it when I like the areas that you can change, but other than that, it's entrenched. So it will tell you that to be an executive, you have to reside in the community locally. If you're a stakeholder who should be an executive, that person have to visit this community at least 3 times per week. A person that criminal record cannot be an executive member unless it's 10 years and one is the only one. So it will spell out everything. Right? I can't remember anything else on my head, but the main objective here is to form that program.
How much person must be on that?
We can have 15 or 30, we have 2 from each road, but we don't want 4 and 3 from each road. And we don't want the 15 from one street. Understand? We need a pavement place, Princess Alice Drive and Way, a Beaumont Road, we can have 2 from each road. Understand? Because the reality is, Mr. Anderson cannot make it, so the other person from the street make it to the meeting.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Alright. In regards to
Guys, we don't scope when I don't do that. I'm gonna have an art condition
No,
of this
watch
road
this.
of this year.
in regards to the Constitution, when you read the SDC argument, it said that the proposed Constitution is the one that you find online. And it is one for consideration by the Citizen Association, not the Citizen Association. Alright, and one of the issues that we face in the community is that, and this is Hermitage, the estate, we don't want a situation that you create any gods or any demigod over the citizenry, in the sense that the chairman of the final say to whenever external organizations come and they are talking with the community. One of the things with the Hermitage citizenry, you can all correct me if I'm wrong, is that we always want the external agencies to have a meeting with the community, or as you say, the core for the community. And where our constitution is concerned, we like for them things to be reflected accordingly in it. And as such, that which is provided by the SDC don't necessarily take into account that nuanced approach where Hermitage is concerned.
No, that's not true.
Alright, now watch this. But
So
we're not
that is
arguing
why we all right. When
So-
there is any decision made, we don't call a one man, it's a committee. Unless that group has met and have confirmed that the president will attend the meeting, we have already met with the president and decide what is to be done.
You misunderstand. No, we're not saying that SDC bid, but other agencies. Alright, for example, JSIF, you have JSIF, you have the various national bodies. Alright? They tend to want to talk to one person from each community. And how they do it is, they invite the one person and then they have a board that come and circle the one person. So whatever is put forward. And it's like almost like a creative way of imposing their views and opinion on the community. And one of the things that we put forward, we have always been discussing, is that Hermitage will not stand for any dictatorship from any government institution and how the community will develop and how it will run. Yes, we need capacity, but the Constitution as put forward by the SDC is a proposed primary document from which we must depart to suit the culture within the Hermitage.
Again, let me repeat. It is not a proposed, it is an entrenched document, meaning you cannot change what is entrenched. The only areas that can be changed is your membership, or you want it to make up. Sorry guys, Jesus. Right? I spoke here about dues, amount you decide to choose. Regulation governing your meeting, or often when we are.
Let me help you.
Yes.
Because I understand what Maurice is saying, and he's absolutely. While organization come together, that is why earlier I asked if the Constitution will be the proposed draft Constitution that they will go and know, they will now come back to you with their final and say, this is the Constitution that we, Hermitage residents, will be governed by. This is what we see fit for us, which is not far from what you are proposing. But you have a point where some organizations tend to impose and not have a discussion around certain areas. All right, it have happened in the past. But what you say, you would like from now state clearly that Hermitage will not be facilitating that kind of approach.
No, that's okay.
Alright? Am I correct, Mr. Mason? Alright, but the Constitution is not a proposed Constitution that will be ironed out by the resident the steering committee and come back to the board.
Alright, so I heard what Maurice was saying, and if an agency comes and wants a representative from a community to be a part of that meeting, isn't it supposed to be where the community itself, that core set of people would say, all right, you're going to meet whoever tomorrow. Remember, this is what we have agreed on. You don't make a decision unless the steering committee, you know. So the person cannot say, yes, Hermitage will say yes to this. I have to go back to my community, relay, and then we'll decide. So if that person goes into these meetings and say yes or no, it means that something is wrong with the core then, or the constitution that drives the community then was not clearly understood. So,
I don't know any organization that is going to stipulate and say only one person. You have the, if they say, we would like a meeting with the president, you have the initiative to say, can he be accompanied by the treasurer or the secretary? Depending on the type of meeting, what you are meeting for. Right? So you would have, if it's something financial, you would have one to draw with the treasurer.
So I was just going to talk about along that lines that we can actually state that no one person meets with an entity. It is X and Y. Right. If Y not available, then it's M. But we actually can state that, and so no one person goes to meet anybody.
Right, so this document here that you're saying the SDC will provide, it will mean that whatever changes, if the community wants to make it, they have to liaison with you to say that we can't make a decision in those rooms, those meetings, until we come back to the core.
Alright, but those are governance and best practices for the president, because anyone who is a president must rely on his members. Alright, and therefore it is within his value to always communicate and say, NWA has requested a meeting with us and we would like a core representative. That means he will now decide that I want my secretary to be there, I want maybe the man who made this on the ground and, you know, like our control is there everywhere. Alright, so you want it to be because maybe control knowledge, because you want to share those knowledge, or Shelley, who is on the ground, you know. Right, so you have a core group of persons that it is surround the president that that is how you protect your organization, and that is how you protect your members, and your members protect your executive.
All right. Remember, I was going to make that point, but I'm glad you brought it up more clear. But just to reinforce, remember when Ms. Arthur was giving the intro of the whole CDC and the governance, she used to use the word wholesome. Wholesome. And you see the word participatory? It means that everybody has a say, right? So you cannot form an organization and it's going to be operating in solo, meaning that the president will get up and go meet with who are right, who are whatever, without the body knowing and having any knowledge. And having confirmation, they may have knowledge, but they didn't confirm, right? So, I don't see that operating. And if that is the case, you, the members, have the right to vote on that president. To have somebody who is representing the community, the greater good. Right?
In selecting these persons, wouldn't we need to know what are their roles?
Yes. For what? Selecting these persons for what?
The core.
The core. All right. Not necessarily, no. We spoke about representation, right? And in representation, meaning every role is represented. Role has nothing, because we're drafting a document, it's the same document everybody will be perusing and going through line by line, paragraph by paragraph. So it's not a role as to say treasurer, secretary, or any of that as yet. It's just reading, going through, and making a decision for the community as to the name you agree on, how much you think we should produce, meeting place, time, date, whatever, to structure it. When it comes to the IGM now, that is where the role comes in, and person, capacity, competence, expertise, and knowledge comes in. Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, now where the SDC document is concerned, one of the things that we must accept that it is an excellent document. Alright? But where Hermitage is concerned and the whole notion of making it consistent with the norms and culture of Hermitage, it is an excellent point of departure. In other words, what is it that we are saying? In regards to the chairmanship, alright, as Ms. Scotland pointed out, the second and the third, these would be the council. In other words, the council and management, alright? You would have a singular secretary. You'd have the secretariat that would undertake the secretarial functions. See? So at any one point, we have a cadre of person that is assigned to a singular position as outlined within the SDC framework. You follow me? What is it that it allows?
Maurice, explain to me that cadre of person that is assigned.
All right. In terms, as you pointed out earlier, you made the point that if you have a full composition, you have up to third chairman. First, second, and third run out to the chairmanship. The same thing for the
assistant treasurer.
exactly.
Right.
So it would be the council and management. You follow me? So therefore, for any significant role, you would have a committee that is ready. All right. So again, where agility is concerned, as it relates to addressing the functionalities that we may need in terms of technical expertise. Like for example, if I am not available, Madam Shirley is available. See?
And that is what you
Exactly. So you see, that which is proposed and that which we have been building since 2000 in the form of a constitution, the foundation of it is the principles outlined in the SDC framework. But it was tweaked to address the issues in Hermitage in terms of what is it that we desire in terms of accountability. In other words, whereas, for example, treasury management and money, everybody needs to know if dollar spent, what was it spent for and why it was spent. And as such, if we have that a treasury management council, you follow me? Then it wouldn't be dependent on any one person. You follow me? And by so doing, what it would have created and what it will create is one, fluence, see across the different individuals, but more importantly, accountability. Because people can be kept up to date at any given time. Alright? Now, the last point, and then in regards to the availability of data and information, one of the things that we put forward is, again, we have about 3,000 people inside there in the community, alright, roughly. You look at it now. For them to drop their everything they're doing to be at a singular point is not necessarily the best way to organize the community. And one of the things that we want, or that was proposed, is to use the WhatsApp chat to institutionalize the WhatsApp chat as the main means of disseminating information and have live discussions. For example, if I am up 3 a.m., I can add my point to it. If somebody else is up at, say, 2 o'clock in the day, they can add their point to it. And then at some given period, we evaluate the points that was put together. And as such, we allow for a greater broad-based approach to community development points. All right? As it is now, how much are we inside at? 25, 30? The community is what? Almost 3,000. In the WhatsApp group, we have what? 150. So at any given point, the best that we can organize is reflected in the WhatsApp group and not necessarily that which is here. Alright? So where the Constitution is concerned, we have a draft, alright? But it's for to be evaluated by the citizenry somewhat. Alright, go ahead.
So, 2 things that you mentioned that I want to make note of. You spoke about a meeting at central location. Remember, the Constitution gives you the privilege to have a hybrid meeting. Meaning, if you can meet online or in person or both ways.
Or even your same WhatsApp group.
Right? And that is taken into consideration because not everybody has internet service all the time. So who can come, who is at work or at some other activity but they can come online. If I go overseas on vacation, I can still go to my CDC meeting online. So it gives you that option. The other thing you spoke about having the WhatsApp chat is just a chat. It is not taken into consideration unless it is something structured. A minute, you call a minute at least, and what was said by one, second by one in agreement. So you can just pick up a chat and take that. You understand?
You have to be managed.
Still have to be managed in a structured manner.
So you're saying that if you have a structured conversation on WhatsApp,
meaning it's a meeting.
Yes,
so
you meeting to order, you follow the same.
You must follow this time. What was that? Yeah. What is the matters of discussion? What was agreed on?
But suppose there's a single item for discussion. It's not a meeting, but there's a decision to be made, and we can't call this meeting now. What are the citizens saying about this?
You have to call a meeting.
Still have to call a meeting.
Structure.
Send out the notice. Residents, there is an urgent matter that we have to attend by 7 a.m. tomorrow. Can we meet online 8 p.m. tonight? And you do it there. Right. 8 p.m. come. If you want to pick up 10 or 15 minutes for those who are little, starting now, go ahead, book and join one, later join, and you do the rest.
Remember that WhatsApp now, I believe some phones you can actually record.
Recording.
Right. So it has to be a meeting format, anything that's
structured
to be.
Because you only can take black and white to court. Only black and white there is evidence, and when they say all these was attendance, Simone whatever, because it would be recorded who was in that discussion. Fair enough?
Yeah, the same thing.
Right, no structure. Any other question? Any other question? So, can we have volunteers now? Should I start by the road, painting place? Mr. Anderson and?
Before you go, I just want you to just make sure that you're a road representative.
Yes, sir.
And I want you to understand that I don't want to hear say you represent the road and you're not talking to the man next to you, or you're not talking to the lady on the road. If you're a representative, then you must represent.
Alright, let me get to that.
Well, we understand the community thing and thing.
Yeah.
So sometimes maybe you have to say to Maurice, no, I'm not going to share it about talk to share it, but it's important that every single person participates.
Alright, so as the councillor had said, we know the dynamics of the community. We know everybody don't get along with everybody, but there's a thing that is called effective community engagement, right? So, I may not talk to Colleen enough, but I can get my message to her so she don't miss out, right? It doesn't mean that if you live on the street and you don't talk to half the street, the only the half that you talk to the woman aware and the next half doesn't know. Remember we talk about participatory and wholesome, it means that you're going to spread the word. Whether in your WhatsApp group you share it and then read it, or you're going to have an assistant and a second say, you know, me not deal with Hunter, so she then had to go and tell Hunter, say, eating or whatever this is. But talk about the water, the light, or the bad road, or the park, or the community center.
Right.
Right? So we want it to be your own activist on your road. So as we were saying, we started paying the place and Mr. Anderson is up. Anybody online? Mr. Box? Boy, miss, but you go for painting place also? Representative? Alright. Princess Alice Way? Drive? I don't see anybody.
Online.
Online, Maurice? Ooh. So you will capture?
Yeah, my name is Lou, but the connection kind of slow still.
Okay. There were some other person from Princess Alice that would have, they have a funeral today who are seen at the church.
Lee, you can get Mr. Lee.
But also, our office will reach out to Mr. Lee Monday.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the tip of them.
Princess Alice Way. I invited me, what's your name? Pinky, please.
Mr. Barnes.
Mr. Barnes, yeah.
Mr. Barnes, yeah, man. Mr. Barnes, gone to the funeral too for this day. But we don't know plans, Justin. Justin went to the funeral today too? I promise I will be back after. I'll be out today.
Yeah,
Moving on to Anglin Place. Don't see Charm. Charm promised me she would be here.
yeah, Mr. Blake.
German. Mr. Blake online?
No, we can put it. Mr. Blake and Trevor.
It is being recorded, so I have to reach out to them Monday. Alright?
Yeah.
Just drop me a WhatsApp of the names. You know, Trevor is a businessman. So we can't look up on Trevor. I was looking at German and Charm.
Yeah, man.
Alright? We're in the place. I don't see Mr. Lunch, I don't see Alice. Nobody else from our
Okay,
place.
put down Alice. And what's your name?
Oh, so
With the JP. Marcia.
Marcia. Okay. Beaumont Road.
Yeah, Mr. Blake.
You and who?
It's Bennett.
And Shelley.
Yeah, man, I have chief with the one through. I want to
Yeah.
Who? Sophia Boris and Ms. Lenny?
And Mr. Thompson, Julian Thompson.
Afford that.
Yeah, but the one through the longest one.
No, and Escarpment.
Yeah.
And
It's
that
not as populated as
Who? Rachel was supposed to be here.
Who is Rachel?
Oh, God, Maurice. Rachel, come and smoke store, Tommy.
David slowly watch.
Now watch this. The names in the book.
And Pastor Silver, KD, our husband said he would have.
Was right there.
Right, yes, so, alright. Bailey Road,
Simone.
yes, Simone Road. Princess, oh. Anne's Crescent. Maxine said she would come. What's your name? Stacy. Very interesting, but she can't. She afraid that she can't carry the stairs.
Alright.
Right. No man, she have a serious eye problem. Who else is missing now? About Road
There's a bunch of us.
and Sean Grant. Manley Avenue. Nobody yet.
Anyone
None of us.
No, Chanel.
Yeah.
Sylvia.
Handling place.
Yeah, huh?
I don't hear anyone from handling place.
No man.
Blake.
We call out something.
He's online?
No. I'll get in touch with you.
You have to get in touch with him. Manley Avenue.
It's late.
No one. Don't have to name it, please. Hold on.
What is it, Maurice? This name of Manley Avenue?
Wait. Mali Avenue is, sorry. Mali Avenue is Diamond Cross and Trevor.
Yeah, but Mama.
Trevor and Kerry.
Mali Avenue.
They have a church on Saturdays. They inform me. Pecos. Huh?
Wonder place.
Them always people who wonder place. Yeah, man. Justin, you're going to for the place also? For the place. You want to represent the place in the drafting of the Constitution? Alright, so we're going to reach out to Trevor, Perry, and Pecos, right? Sylvia Drive, Janelle Lane.
Yeah.
And you can probably see that. I was trying to get to Asta, not reaching him. Asta James.
Colin.
Sylvia Terrace. No. Rachel Close.
It's not Sylvia Terry. Rachel Close, I don't know.
This is our function all that time. With our sister Elizabeth Child.
Yeah.
Yes. This is Katie and Lisa. All right. Now, I'm going to tell you to say, Oliver. Oliver?
No, Oliver.
Go to the property of the sea. through community development police station. He also operates a well-being business that he wants youngsters in the community who has an interest in well-being to come and learn this skill. Right? So, also, we can't be confident about people, but we need you, so continue with Chanel. Oh, Chanel discussion from there. Alright? Yes. So, we have come to the core group. So, is there any question, any other thing? So, we are going to decide in the group. We'll form a WhatsApp group for the core group. I'm going to send the constitution to you guys so you can peruse, go through the thing, mark up, decide what any character that you want, and reach out to myself for the computer. And then we decide when is the next meeting day. We come, finalize, come back to the general community, project it, paragraph by paragraph, and everybody agree, we ratify that they will be the ratification day. Coming on to that now, we go into the IGM where we have an election, persons nominate who they want our position, we vote for those person. We do a leadership capture form, and we start going ahead. Right? So, if there's no other question, that is the end, and I want to go to another activity after Maurice speaks.
Alright, now there's a thing that we're looking at in regards to the DCFS. Alright, yes, this is the SDC component, but there's also the DCFS registration that is actually important. Alright? And the DCFS is what we will register with the government in terms of it being a benevolent society. The scope of interest is the Hermitage estate from taking place all the way down to Goldsmithville. Alright? Now, their requirement is somewhat different from that of the SDC, but to have full recognition, we need both registration, that of the DCFS and that of the SDC in terms of the CDC charter. Alright? Now, in regards to the DCFS, the Constitution requires almost the same thing, except that in the definition of the leadership group, them use, for example, a chairman versus a president. You follow me? And where that is concerned, whatever is developed must serve both masters in terms of regulatory management of the community group. And as such, where that is concerned, we need to have, and don't judge me, but it's like the Twin Peaks model that the Ministry of Finance proposed with the financial sector. It's the same thing that is reaching us. We need to adhere to SDC governance and we need to adhere to that of the DCFS. So whatever we decide on, it must allow us to operate across, alright? Now, in regards to community development, this is not just a $2 affair. This will enable us to write like a $30 million or a $40 million project for the community. Now, people, reality, we need readiness. Alright, and what Ms. Kaplan is putting forward, although she put it nicely, it is capacity to implement that we need to show. We need to have both DCFS and SDC agreement, alright? Now, don't get me wrong, in terms of the Constitution, over the years we have been developing a Constitution. We're trying to bridge the two in regards to taking into account the citizens' views and opinion, alright? Now, again, when we come on to the management, you know our issue has always been in Jamaica, trust. Dollar come is the dollar spent for the community versus for the individual. The goal and our goal beyond SDC minimum requirement is to establish a development council body that have full autonomy in terms of operating on the behalf of the citizenry, but more importantly, full accountability. Alright? And as such, the decisions that we make now in terms of what to put in the Constitution, as Ms. Scotland pointed out, is of great importance. And just an aside and a critical note, we don't want a constitution that gives anybody autonomy over us. We need full accountability. If a dollar comes, dollar spent for the community. And at any point in time, we must have it. And that is the primary goal of this exercise that we are undertaking. All right? So that's go ahead, Ms. Scott.
So, on that note now, remember it's a new community development. We don't have a profile as yet. So our next very important document is our community priority plan. So I'm asking, which is another, and this is another program of the SDC. So I'm asking for a sensitization meeting. You made it date time, venue when you're available for us to come and sensitize the group about the community priority plan. So in a nutshell, it's a document where we come in, we do your strength at a SWOT, the strength of weakness is the opportunity and threat. Coming out of that, we identify your problem, we vote on it, we come up with the top 5 problems, we come up with an action plan, and based on the action plan, if it's project proposal or whatever, advocacy, we try and get those problems fixed. So, can we agree here or in the group and when we decide on the meeting for the CPD? All right? All right. We must excuse our councillor. Sir, thank you for taking the time to be here. The committee of Hermitage Estate.
I must thank Hermitage again, once again, as a product of Hermitage, I continue to source.
Yes,
because it is where I learned my early value in leadership. All right, and therefore, looking forward for great things to come.
You will see it, sir.
Hermitage have always been a beacon.
Yes.
And I just hope that they will continue this way. Thank to you to facilitate and to continue to develop.
Yes, sir.
Anyhow, have another meeting during the year.
Okay. So, you decide now or when? On the next meeting for the establishment and when can we meet for the CPD? Sensitization. Anybody has anything to say? And we have no problem if there is other meeting venue that is convenient, we go to other place. You understand? Once it is within the borders of the community. Alright? So we decided to go ahead.
Alright, now, next thing, in terms of the business of Hermitage, alright? This is what we envision and we have been discussing over the past couple of years where the community is concerned. Since the CDC by design is that of a committee, alright? The body of the Development Council as it relates to the DCFS, they would undertake that and that would include everybody in the community, the broader aspect of it. And then the executive would now comprise of the CDC, which would be the Development Council. Alright? And one of the things that we have been discussing, especially where community planning have been happening and been executed over the years, is that we took a project management approach where for each project we get a lead and then
Okay.
everybody turns.
I don't think Errol can hear you over there.
Oh,
you need to
let me
speak
not
up,
hear me,
speak
man.
up a little, please.
Alright, so with the project management approach, those who have the expertise in the particular area would be the lead. And then we appoint, what you call that, support to execute. You follow me? And that has been the approach that we took over the last, since what, 2015? And we have effectively produced a lot of stuff. But the thing is now, as Ms. Scotland pointed out, we don't want to start something with a big bang and then it fade out because of lack of sustainability. Alright, and this is what has worked for us, is that we have needs and we address the needs, and then we form a project around the need in terms of execution, the implementation towards addressing that need. When that need is addressed, then that project team becomes dormant, and then we energize again once the problem arises. You follow me? What that allows is one, flexibility, and more importantly, agility as it relates to addressing the needs of the community in terms of execution. Because the objective is not to have this big constitution that don't allow us to address the matter in a timely fashion. You follow me? And one of the things that when we're reviewing these stuff is to look at efficiency. Is that which is proposed the best way to achieve that which we desire? You follow me? And once we read with that objective in mind, then we can put forward the thing. Because not only that too, we need to look at what is the desired outcome that we are working for. You follow me? If, like for example, the entrance to the estate between, what you call them?
Guys, Maurice jumped the gun and gone too far. So all of that will come up in your priority plan. If that is a number one priority, that is what we are going to address. We'll set the time frame, the budget, who are the actors, and all of that. Right? So it makes no sense to deliberate on any one specific thing. When it comes to that time, the research coordinator is going to lead that process, and the residents will decide what are their issues in the community. So, today's what? May 9?
Yeah.
What day of the week work best for this community? Is it a day during the week or a weekend?
Weekend work best.
Right. And let me tell you what I'm doing. If we keep on a Saturday, we'll miss the 7-day Adventist.
No, because
keep
we
on a
start the
Sunday.
earlier Sabbath at sundown.
All right.
So the meeting
So,
has to start.
on a Saturday, like 7 p.m. 7 p.m. But let me tell you, if we use this venue, most of the time the church has their choir practice. So we compete with the nights and all of that too. Maurice?
Right. Now, in regards to the priority plans for the community, again, one of the things that we have established 13 priority plans for the community in terms of the business plan, or the targeted areas. Alright? So that which must accompany the, what you call it, the business plan and the constitution in terms of what we'll be targeting. We have a draft of that can be shared with the community. As we said to you all, it requires some serious work because that which is compiled thus far is roughly 120 pages. Alright? And like we say, it has been an evolving document over the years, and it would need some serious thought from everyone and discussion. But the goal, as I am saying, is to build the capacity for effective engagement and execution of projects. Always remember that. That's it from me.
All right.
I have a suggestion.
Yes.
I'm listening to you, maybe, right? I think by the end
just need to have a 10-year plan.
Yeah.
You have a 10-year plan. So you see everything that you are talking about, that's supposed to be in the 10-year plan. We're supposed to know what we're going to accomplish in year 1, what we're going to take on in year 2, how we're going to expand in year 3. So we're supposed to have all of that. So, right, so okay. So like when you're not in your head, I think it needs to be shared so that everybody can be on the same page, right? I like to be on the same page because I'm about team. Yeah, not I, but team. So I think that is what needs to happen.
Yes. So whatever capacity building, teamwork, team building, everything, it is there. So we're back to the meeting. So when are we agreed for our next meeting? And which Saturday at 7 p.m. You can go on the calendar, your phone. Huh? End of month, the 30th of May? For which of the meeting? The CPPR, the next establishment.
I won't be available.
Not available, that's the
I'm
30th.
fully booked on that day.
All right. Can we say then the 6th of June? The 6th of June? For what? Which meeting? All right. The 6th of June for the next establishment meeting, 7 p.m. Right? A Saturday. And we can't go with the 23rd of May because people are going to start in Labor Day already. So we're not going to have a meeting unless it's a during the week sensitization meeting for the CPP. Is anybody, any day of the week available to anybody 7 p.m.? A Monday, or Tuesday, or Wednesday, or Thursday, or Friday? 7 p.m.? None of the days. All right. So the next meeting for establishment is the 6th of June. Can we go with the 13th of June, the following Saturday for the CPP sensitization? We're going to change the share to the group, right? Alright. Because May already booked with the labor bill. Already. Okay, so that is it from me. Is there any question, any concern? And my number to the group, I'm H.R.S.Productions, consortium of Star. You can reach out to me for any question concerning affairs of the community and any of the meeting or any discussion that is here tonight. Yes,
Hold on a minute, sir, Banks.
what they say?
The noise from the...
No attention on the only when we see election is a person pass through.
So this
And
is
we have some concern around there.
Yes.
I pass on my information to a couple places, but I don't say anything.
What are the concerns?
So that is why we established that.
More is the concern. More is the concern.
Mr. Wesley have concern, Mr. Hunt have concern, a lot of people have concern. So just give us a chance to establish it, and in the meantime, whatever is a concern, we try and address it too. Is something that needs urgently?
Urgent. More is about to tell about it. The problem is it, you know.
Oh, the Gully Bank?
Yeah, the problem is it. I'm here in this meeting here. The problem is that all the when election, this is some representative come on. I might be when they have giving a Christmas one or something like that. I don't want that. More soon I know so we have a concern address. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to say no.
So, it's a priority this morning.
We address that.
You're going to priority document?
No, as it relates to the issue that you raised. It's not just election time. Alright, the respective bodies, JC, NWA, most of them have been informed about it. But guess what? It is coming from Maurice Mason. And when you hear Maurice Mason, you hear Maurice Mason from the Hermitage estate, don't it? We are not a recognized body, so I don't have any credibility out there like that. And people say, what they say is, oh, me are the troublemaker because I am the only one writing. You follow me? So you see, when we get our piece of paper with the government stamp on it, and we write on behalf of the citizen, our issue in terms of raising development issues within the community now have credibility because it now have the government stamp behind it. And that is why we need to get this thing up and running and registered quick. The next thing in terms of, because there's two registration that we need, DCFS and that of the SDC. Where DCFS is concerned, we have a draft constitution, and again this constitution adheres to both the DCFS regulations and that of the 1965 SDC Act, alright? So it can serve for two. When we reach home and go around the machine, I'm going to set up the group and I will share it with everybody. And again, for DCFS, we need at least 21 signatures. And if we get them by Friday, we can start the process in getting the DCFS registration by the following week, alright? So as I said, people, now is the time for us to act and get it up and running so that we can establish credibility to our cry for development. Go ahead.
So I suggest that we do an action item plan, put the dates as to when we need to have everything and the date that we want everything to be in order. I think once that is in place, we have no issues because we know what the action items is, we know what the timeline is, we know when we're going to get back a response. And, yeah, and my thing is at the end of the day, we need to give ourselves a deadline, like an official deadline that all these things that we're discussing, that we get them done by that deadline. Because you see, if we don't have a deadline, we're going to drag our foot. And I personally, don't do the drag foot thing. We either do 100 or we don't do 0. Right, so that's my...
How long that will have come up with an action?
Alright, one of the things that we must realize with the action plan is this. Because we actually try with the priority, with the 13 priority points that we're looking at in drafting the Constitution. Because we don't have the cash up front and we are going to lobby for the cash. What is feasible is that we have the 13 action plans, then we have the different targets that we are going to move at. Alright? In terms of the sequencing of it, then it would be dependent on how the funding that we receive in order to address it. Alright? So we must be constrained by that in terms of the expectations. Alright? But in regards to the planning, they were strategized in terms of primary, secondary, and tertiary. But in terms of that which we can do at any given time is dependent on our ability to access the funding to do same. Alright? Alright.
Guys, when we come to the CPP, we will make all that decision. I don't want to hold you any longer, but I want to really thank each one for you for coming out tonight. You know, it was last minute, but some of you got writing Thursday or Friday, right? And you hold the time to be here. So I want to say I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy Saturday evening. I don't know if anybody left them soup to cold, but we appreciate you coming in here tonight. And just want you to remember that the next meeting is the 6th of June, 7 p.m. So we're going to allow Maurice to yes, get the confirmation from Pastor. Right. So with that being said, anybody want to close the departure prayer? Mr. Mark, you want to close up us in departure prayer?
Shirley can pray, man. Shirley do the prayer.
Alright, let us go ahead in reverence to God. Pray that God and everlasting Father, we want to thank you for today. Thank you those who are alive to see this day and accomplish all we have accomplished thus far throughout the day. Lord, we want you to guide and protect us as we depart, each person their own separate journey to go home. Strengthen this community, Lord, that we may accomplish all the objectives set out before it. And we ask you to give our residents longevity, energy, and strength to take this community to where you ought to be. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. And before we guys leave all the mothers, I want to wish them happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
You said Jesus is going to take our response.
Huh?
Don't spoil our good show.
Don't spoil us, Father. Next month is your day, Father.
Yeah, don't spoil our good show.
Yeah, we the mothers are going to treat you, all right?
Good.